Hey guys, welcome back to Geek Space, where today we're going to be dissecting the brand new Five Nights at Freddy's Movie 2 trailer. With San Diego Comic-Con being in full swing, announcements from all of our favourite franchises are being shown off, and this is the first. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So the trailer begins with a blue van pulling up to the FNAF 2 pizzeria. 4 paranormal investigators get out of the van and begin talking about how this pizzeria is the original location. So in the games, FNAF 2 is a prequel. But here, I think that the movie is a sequel, but this pizzeria is older than the one from the first film. The original building and not a franchise location. Then we get an awesome shot of the people walking into the pizzeria. At the entrance, there are 3 archways leading into the dining room. On the left, we can see the classic FNAF 2 carousel with the mini characters on it. Also, we can see what looks like a Mangle head mounted on a wall with pink light shining through the eyes and the mouth. I may be wrong about this, but that's what it looks like to me. And on the right, we can see the main stage and what could be a spiral staircase. That would mean that this pizzeria has 2 floors. The next shot shows what looks like a water ride that leads into a cave filled with puppet plushies. That sentence feels insane to say. There's even a bridge going over the water. Trust me, this will not be the last time we see this cool area. Next, we see someone recording Balloon Boy, and oh my god, I love this design. He looks absolutely terrifying. I love that worn out design. It'll be so horrifying when that thing starts to move. Next up, we see what I think is Kids Cove. It definitely looks very different to FNAF 2. It gives off a sort of liminal space type feel. I imagine that Mangle would perform on the pirate ship while kids would play in the ball pit. It would be really scary if there was a scene in this film where Mangle was hunting someone in the ball pit and climbing onto the rocks. The next shot shows them opening the stage curtains to reveal the awesome toy animatronics. You can tell these guys are old because they're covered in plastic bags for long-term storage. Also, they look so accurate to the game. Then we get a close-up of Toy Chica because even Blumhouse knows the absolute freaks in the FNAF fandom. But while this is happening, one of the characters is talking about how a little girl was murdered at this location. Is this Charlotte Emily? Because Henry was cast for this film, and also in the games she died at an old location. If not, then this could be the movie's adaptation of The Bite of 87, which would be really cool to see. Blumhouse, where can I buy this puppet plush now? Please tell me. Then we can see one of the people going into the puppet plush filled water ride, until one of them hears the puppet's music box, and in true horror movie style, goes to investigate. She follows the music into the basement, where she finds the puppet's music box. Then the gears begin to turn and the girl screams. We don't see the puppet, but we know that she did. Personally, I think that all the stuff relating to the paranormal investigators is at the beginning of the movie. It's a good way to introduce the new animatronics and also establish that this film is a lot scarier than the first one. Then we move on to what looks like Mike and Vanessa on a sort of date maybe, or it could just be a catch-up, I'm not too sure. Mike states that they've come a long way, and then they start to talk about Abby. Speaking of Abby, she's now building her own animatronics, and Mike tells us that she still misses her old friends from the last movie. Also, I love this Chica that she's working on. Then we see a wall of drawings from Abby. There's one of a creepy Freddy with black eyes, darker fur, and buttons. Doesn't this sound a lot like Withered Freddy? Although, he doesn't have any withering and he's standing in the location from the first movie. But in the bottom right, she's drawn original Freddy and not given him buttons. Maybe I'm just going crazy. We can also see drawings of what's definitely Toy Chica and Toy Bonnie, meaning that this scene takes place after she's met the toys. Also, Mike is apparently promising Abby that he's going to fix the animatronics for some reason. We can also see Abby playing with the Faz talker from previous teasers. It is all fun and games until it begins to talk back and lead Abby to the FNAF 2 pizzeria. We then see her walk up to a weird looking stage. It goes forward like a runway sort of thing, with a piece of the floor that looks like it opens up. Remember that. Abby looks really shocked in the next shot. There's a bridge in the background and even rocks covering one of the walls. I'm not too sure that's quite how it works. Toy Chica looks really cool as her eyes light up in the darkness. She looks really angry at something, which we can't see. Mike is then standing in the office saying, "Oh no," to something standing in front of him, which we don't see. Maybe Mike has forgotten to wind the music box. We then cut to one of the people from the beginning getting dragged into the ceiling by Mangle's endo limbs. Speaking of Mangle, we then see her endo head crawl out of what looks like a ball pit, because there's ball pit balls on the floor. I think these shots are also from the opening scenes, because it's being filmed through a camera like the beginning. We then see a shot of someone walking up some stairs, with Toy Chica not far behind. We know this is probably from Abby's school, because of the posters behind Chica. We then see Vanessa looking into the puppet's music box, but it looks to me like the puppet has already escaped. So remember the trap door on the stage? It looks like the puppet in its box can be raised up onto the stage for parties. That is really cool and would explain why the music box was down in the basement before and not in the prize counter like in FNAF 2. We then see Toy Freddy open the garage door, a scene which we've seen before in the teaser trailer. Then we see one of the coolest shots in this entire trailer. In the FNAF 2 pizzeria, we can see a fixed version of the yellow rabbit behind a door, with a little boy looking at him. Could this be the long-awaited murder scene? If it is, then this is the best movie ever, hands down. Then we see Vanessa standing in a hallway with the puppet coming up behind her, and she looks amazing and so accurate to the game. Toy Bonnie then pulls a knife out of a knife block to probably kill that old couple from the first teaser trailer. Then we see the shot of Toy Freddy walking through Fazfest like in the previous teaser, which leads into a shot of Balloon Boy's propeller hat sticking out of the water on the ride. This scene is going to be terrifying and probably make me hate Balloon Boy even more. I didn't even know that was possible. Then we see Mangle on top of the blue van. This is our first full body shot of Mangle in this movie, and it looks fantastic and so accurate to the game. Mangle then smashes the car's windshield with one of her many endo limbs. Then we see and hear a little girl screaming. Could she be one of the missing children? Or could she be Charlotte Emily? Then we see the fixed version of the yellow rabbit walk down a hallway with a big kitchen knife in hand. Speaking of the yellow rabbit, we then see Vanessa crying, and the yellow rabbit from the first movie puts his hand on her shoulder. I think that this is a hallucination or dream sequence. We then hear William Afton say, "I'm not done with you," and Withered Foxy's eyes. Withered Foxy looks so good and accurate. We then see Toy Chica's feet as she strangles someone and their glasses fall to the ground. Then finally, we see the best section in this trailer. It shows Mike in the office, shining his flashlight down the long empty hallway, just like we do in FNAF 2. Then he turns around to see the Freddy head from FNAF 2. Oh my god, my jaw dropped when I saw it. Then Withered Chica appears, and other than her jaw being a little too closed, she looks literally picture perfect to FNAF 2. Mike quickly puts on the Freddy head, and we get a classic shot of the animatronics looking through the eyes of the mask. And finally, to top off the trailer, we see Withered Bonnie break through a vent cover and be in the exact same pose that he was in the vent in FNAF 2. And just like Withered Chica, he literally looks identical to FNAF 2. Withered Bonnie has one of the best designs in the FNAF franchise, and he looks amazing here. Then the title card shows, and this fantastic trailer ends. In conclusion, FNAF fans are eating good tonight. Five Nights at Freddy's is doing amazing this year, with Secret of the Mimic releasing, and now this peak trailer. The pizzeria in this film is absolutely amazing. It contains a whole basement and even an entire water ride. The animatronics in this movie are probably even better and more accurate than the first ones in the first film, which is really impressive considering that there are literally 3 times as many. This is also probably one of the most faithful video game movie adaptations that I've ever seen. So yeah, 11 out of 10 in my opinion. Alright guys, we've reached the end of today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Comment down below what you think of the new trailer and what you're most excited to see in this new film. Also, while you're down there, please consider subscribing because right now we are so close to 1,000 subscribers. But anyway, I hope you have a great day and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!